everybody. My name is Marietta and I'm the co-founder of Consulton.com. Consulton is a platform where you can raise your business challenge, book advisory calls with consultants and experts, and solve your issues in an efficient way at a fraction of the usual consulting price. We have, and we are pleased to have them on the platform, 670 consultants. And today we launch our first episode of interviews, presenting you and meeting you with the consultants that can work with you hand by hand. Today I have Flora, and I'm happy that she accepted the invitation. Flora, I'm really happy because she can share valuable information for the general managers, managing directors, and owners operated businesses. Hi, Flora, and thank you for accepting the interview.
Thank you, Marietta. It's really good to see you today and really good to be with you.
So how did you decide to join Consulton?
It's a really good question. So when we started to work together, I know you got in touch with me, and I was really looking at the website and thinking about, okay, what are our common values? And actually what really attracted me is that your passion is making sure that consulting is affordable, and you really want to support businesses with current challenges. A lot of people are, struggling during COVID, and you wanted to make sure that people have access to exceptional services, but at a price that they can afford. And that's really for me, because I know we share that value of we want to support people. And I think for me, that was the really big motivation to join you.
Yes. So yeah, I'm really happy that you, and anyway, we had long conversations, and we know, like, I know exactly what you're doing and how can you help business owners and small and medium businesses. But can you tell us a little bit about your approach? I know your approach, but for the public and for the potential people that will be interested to work with you, what is your approach with small and medium companies?
So that's a really good question. I would say I have experience of working in different sectors. So I started my career in the private sector, working for Sodexo, which is a multi-billion-pound company. But then I moved to working with charities, and at the moment I'm operating with startups. So I think what's important for me is that I'm actually really flexible, and I can really adapt to different sectors, and that's something that I bring. And my approach is, when I do strategy projects, there are two things. One is making sure that the strategy I'm working on is very pragmatic, because I don't want a strategy that's going to sit on the shelf and nobody's going to look at. Actually, I'm working on really practical action. So, for example, I did the project with the British Heart Foundation to help them recruit more volunteers. And, really the approach was very based on me being in the shop, not sitting in my office, but just really understanding the day-to-day problems. And then for the next recruitment campaign they had, they increased the number of volunteers they had recruited by 60%. So that's what I mean by it's very tangible. The other part of the way I like to work is really working. I have a coaching style. So it's not, I'm not going to listen to you, disappear, and do a recommendation that nobody understands. I work with you, because actually as a business owner, you are your business, and you're going to be, I'm here to help you. So we are working together to really understand what you can do, and we're developing the solution together. And that's how I like to work.
Yeah, I totally agree with you on that, and especially now and during this time. But now you know that there will be people who ask, but okay, how can Flora help me in 1 hour advisory call? So they have a challenge and they want to book a call with you, but still they have this kind of uncertainty. Okay, what actually will you do in 1 hour for me?
It's a really good question, because sometimes it's very hard to think about, you look at your to-do list and you're going to have 50 things on there and there are not enough hours in the day. So what can you really achieve with an hour? And what I would say with that is actually you can achieve a lot if you're just focusing on one issue. So what we would do in a call together, if I give an example, I was working with a startup recently, actually with two startups. So one of them was looking to organize an online event. It was their first online event. We really looked at the structure of the event, the pricing, what's going to be the best strategy to reach clients. So that's what you can do in an hour. And then for another client, they actually wanted to do, they were really struggling financially and they wanted to have some more income. So we are looking at, okay, what are the sources of revenue, and then practicing the pitch because they were delivering the pitch. So that's the kind of thing that we can deliver in 1 hour. So it's just very targeted on a specific issue, and it really helps you. As I said before, it's very practical.
Yeah, and anyway, this is a time where I need to remind again that before any business speaks with you or one of the other consultants,
Yeah.
I have a free session, 40-minute session, where we define the problem statement. So the problem statement is a laser focused one. So the moment the business and the consultant meet in this call, 1 hour call, they have the focus. They don't speak about general things.
Yes.
So actually, exactly what you are saying. When you know this, the exact problem statement in 1 hour, you can do a lot. 1 hour is
You
1
can
hour.
do another. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
But if they want to proceed with you and work with you for 1 week, what is the thing that you can do for 1 week?
Yeah, 1 week. So again, I think it's helpful to have some examples to really bring it to life. And in terms of projects that I've worked on that were 1 week long, I did a project with a client who wanted me to write the annual report and again have a really clear strategy. So actually that's what I did for that particular client. Or I had another client who wanted me to do interviews with some of the staff to understand morale and motivations. And actually that's the kind of thing that I can do in 1 week. You know, that's very practical. It's going, for 1 week, I think it's going to be a very tangible piece of work. You want something delivered, or it could be another project could be really understanding, for example, during lockdown, which of your clients have, you know, what's the structure of your client base at the moment, which of your clients have remained loyal, what's the data that we have, trying to have some understanding of how you can reach more people, how you can find new avenues to reach these clients. It's going to be very practical. And very kind of discrete piece of work. But again, as I was mentioning earlier, you will see the impact from that 1 week, because that's also it's always something I'm passionate about, is making sure that the work that I do is very tangible and also very sustainable.
Yeah, this with that tangible and sustainable is really important. So it's not just like speaking without any action.
Yeah, exactly. There would be something concrete in your hands. Yeah. Because I think that's one of the I'm sure you've seen this as well, but I think one of the misconceptions is working with consultants. They come in, they look at you, they scribble some notes, and then they disappear. And you, not only do you have the same problem, but you spend money, you're not sure where it went. But I think for me, you know, I am really passionate about, I think I have very strong strategy experience. I work for the British Red Cross, for Cancer Research UK. I'm really passionate to make sure that every pound that is spent, and that's true for a small business or a big organization, you know exactly where it went and you have something to show for it. And that's something that that's why I'm working with you, Marietta, because I know you feel the same way.
Yes, no, definitely. So every, like, I am after any outcome, so you need to have the outcome, and the outcome needs to be tangible. Okay, and in 1 month. So if they engage with you in 1 month.
Yeah, I think what's really interesting is that if it's a longer project, it's probably going to be focusing on behavior change, or really something that you want to change about the way that your business operates. I think I've done projects that were between kind of 3 months and 6 months. And for example, I was working with there was a project that I did with an obesity charity, and that was actually 1 year. But I think at the start, it's really understanding, okay, what's the specific issue that you want to solve? So for example, you want to move your business online, which a lot of people are doing at the moment. That's going to be a huge culture shift, really understanding where are we now, what kind of services are we going to deliver, what does that mean about, you know, how we reach our client, how we operate, what does that mean in terms of our staff base, staff costs, etc. If we're renting a property, what support can we get with that? Really understanding that transition, and that will take longer. But again, it's very practical. So I think if you have a longer project, there is something that you want to change over time, and you're delivering that change management and making sure that you're taking your team with you, taking them through that process, and that yourself, you are adapting as we go. And that's what I'm helping you to do during that time. I think that's what's really important, because usually if it's a longer project, it's going to be, we're trying to change the way that we operate. It's not a discrete piece of work, it's more for the long term. Yeah. And I think that's important. That would be probably the same for projects that you've worked on.
Yeah. But so this is the aspect if they engage with you. But would you say that an SME, like a small and medium company, can implement changes and any improvements in the business without the help of a consultant?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's a really good point, but I think I would say that actually this is what people are doing every day. You know, every day people are operating their businesses. We're seeing a lot of small businesses who are still delivering activities during COVID. You know, have a number of friends who are running their own business. Also, you know, I'm really close to people running the coffee shops in my local area. People have really adapted. They have adapted really well. And so I think what's helping in terms of working with a consultant is that, as I was saying before, having that kind of that support to help you define, okay, what's the issue I'm really trying to address here, and having some support in terms of sense checking the approach. Am I doing the right thing? And helping you to guide you in that direction, but you're still absolutely delivering the work. And when I'm working with clients, I'm really making sure that any solution that we develop is co-created. You know, when I was helping my client who hasn't a startup to deliver the pitch, of course he was the one delivering the pitch, but was I helping him to, you know, really make it much more targeted, making sure that he was really engaging with his audience? Absolutely. And we practiced together, and he completely smashed the pitch. He completely delivered the pitch himself, you know. But I think it was just that help at the start that was really essential.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think, you know, it's the same as, that's what I was saying earlier about being a coach. You know, if you go to the gym, and even if you're doing it online, you will go to your coach, and the coach is never going to do the running for you, which is a bit of a shame. But actually, will they give you some targeted exercises for you? Yes, they will. And I think that's how we work, and with consultant, and that's how you work as well. So I think that's really important.
Yeah, because if you have so first of all, if you're a really hands-on manager and you have this kind of a team, you can just like receive this kind of like in 1 hour, like the advice and the structure, and then you can just start action on it. So I also agree with you. But do you know what I have experienced many times when I speak with business and I say, what are your business challenges? Like recently, like what are your current business challenges? And they don't relate to the words business challenge. And they ask me, okay, so is it improving my digital platform a business challenge? Is it like this tax and accounting thing that I have like a question? Is it a business challenge? Is it, for example, implementing a software, a business challenge? And I say yes, because everything that stops your business be more efficient and effective is a business challenge.
Mhm.
What is your advice for a manager um, to realize that she or he has this need for he needs help from a consultant or an expert like you?
Yeah, I mean, I think from what you say at the moment, what's difficult for what I'm saying from the clients I'm working with is that everything is a challenge, actually. Everything is a challenge. Everything is difficult in COVID times. We're having to redefine everything about how we operate. And it's, I think from what you were describing earlier, it's which challenge are we actually going to focus on today or for our call, or and actually that's probably from the conversation that people would have with you and then with me during the call, in terms of really understanding, well, what is having the biggest impact.
Yeah.
So for example, again, if I take the example of the coffee shop, well, I can't have clients in, you know, people are not allowed. So I'm losing a huge chunk of my income. Okay, can I operate online? Yes or no? Can I partner with delivery services? Yes or no? You know, that's going to be the biggest challenge right now. And also, okay, I have to pay the rent. Can I get support? So I think it's just really understanding which of your challenges is going to be the most pressing. We're going to focus on that, which one is going to have the most impact. And then there are other things that are you know, there's going to be kind of almost secondary issues that can be started later. But I think that fundamental aspect of, you know, choosing a challenge that is fundamentally preventing you from operating your business, that's really where we should start. And also having that really open discussion, because it's the same with the coach. You know, as I was talking about being, you know, working with sport coaches before, if you say, oh, I really want to run, but you hate running, well, then maybe start thinking about something else that you can do. Maybe you're going to be doing yoga, maybe doing high intensity training. It's going to be something that works for you. And I think when you have a business challenge, it's the same thing. Like, you have to be really open about what is difficult for you, not trying to make it better, but just to really understand, okay, how can we work together? Because I think that's really where you have a lot of value.
Yes, yes. No, this is exactly like, and anyway, the business needs to, um, yeah, it needs to prioritize, but it needs to start. You can even start with really like some quick wins, something
Yeah.
that's really like there, but you just like, you don't, because you are so much into the details of this business. So you just need somebody like from outside to give you this perspective, like from a
Yeah.
helicopter view, and then
Yeah.
you're just like ready to run.
Yeah. And I
uh,
think it's, you know, I think actually, Marita, you would have the same thing, but that is our job in terms of we are here to solve problems. You know, this is what we do. And so, yes, we have a lot of experience. You know, I've worked with, I've had organization where there was only one member of staff. Actually, a lot of the clients that I'm working with now are startups, so there is only one member of staff. I worked with bigger organizations. I worked during the last recession in 2008. You know, I was at the Red Cross at this time, and also when there was the swine flu. I know about crisis. I know about crisis a lot. I understand what people are going through now. This is our job, to me, making sure that we are talking to different people. We have a lot of approaches in mind, and then we sense check with you to say, well, we think that we could do this together. How appealing does that sound to you? And then we create that solution together. That is what we bring. You know, we bring the expertise of solving problem and dealing with difficult situations, and that is absolutely where we can help.
and this actually, the difficult situation and the crisis that you just mentioned leads to the next question that I want to discuss with you. What is the, yeah, what is your advice for small and medium companies to remain resilient? Is one part of the question, and the second part is how do you manage uncertainty? So again, like, I would like you to share some tips and tricks from your side, like now when small and medium companies hear our small talk, they can just immediately implement something.
Yeah, I mean, these are,
Remain.
yeah, yeah, these are good questions. So how to be resilient and then how to manage uncertainty. They're definitely things that I hear a lot from clients and colleagues actually at the moment, or actually personally. What I would say in terms of remaining resilient is that there are two aspects to this question. First of all is making sure that people have the practical support that they need. And what I mean by practical support is actually for a lot of small organizations at the moment, money is going to be the number one issue. It's very hard to meet your income targets. Actually, you know, some companies are thriving, but a lot of companies are really struggling right now. So really understanding what support you're entitled to practically, whether that's having conversations with your bank, or can you have access to a government loan, or thinking about other ways that you can generate income at this time. So that practical support. The other side that's really important, I think, is for people to have the emotional support that they need, because I was mentioning earlier, you know, as a small business owner, you are your business. If you're not thriving, your business is not thriving. And actually, it's very hard to operate when, you know, you might be worried about your elderly parents or somebody in your family who has a health condition and so is more likely to be affected by COVID. You're sleep deprived and you're trying to run your business at the same time. It's very difficult. So making sure that you're looking after yourself, but also that you're talking to other small business owners, speaking, you know, with us is really, really important, and getting that emotional support is really hugely important. Then you had a question about uncertainty, is that right? Yeah.
But some tips how to manage uncertainty.
Yeah.
When you are a small company.
Yeah. So I think in terms of tips, what's really hard with managing uncertainty is that it can lead to two things. Actually, I was talking to another client yesterday. Either you are completely paralyzed and you don't know what to do, everything feels completely overwhelming, or on the opposite scale, you're doing everything all the time and you're exhausted. Obviously, neither of these are going to work long term, because the first one is like you need to take action, and the other one is you're not going to be able to keep running. And so what I would recommend is really, we were talking earlier about understanding what are the different challenges. So thinking about what's the biggest challenge that you face, and starting to tackle and take the smallest action that you can take for that challenge right now. And actually getting support to do that is essential. And I think that's where I would recommend, you know, when you work with consultant, this is, we can help you, because we can help you define that first next step that you need to take. And also to the second point of like, if you're running around and you're feeling exhausted, we can make it sustainable. And that's really how we can help you. And that's why I really love doing what I do, because I'm really helping people do that, especially during these difficult times. So thank you so much for these questions, Marita. I've really enjoyed speaking with you today. Thank you
for the participation. And anyway, if I can sum up, Flora, together with other 670 consultants on the platform, can help you exactly especially in these times of crisis and uncertainty, and just to remain resilient. But how they will help you, if I can summarize, is in three ways. So first of all, it is accessible and affordable way how you can contact them and work with them. So you see, like you can work for one day, 1 week, 1 month. You can just like tap on their knowledge and then implement it with your own team. She pointed out that this is actually our job, consultants' job, is to manage change and to solve problems. So to bring solutions on the table. And they are Flora and the rest of the consultants on the platform are really experienced exactly in this and exactly in crisis time. And what is the third important thing, and some people are really underestimating it, is that Flora, consultants like Flora can hold your hand, train you how to solve your own business challenges, and then they will just leave you when you are confident. They're just leaving you. The knowledge stays within you and your company, and you are confident. You know how to solve your business challenges. So if I can remind you at the end of the interview that knowledge is the only resource that you can, the more you use, the more there is. On the contrary to natural resources, gas, water. So tap on the knowledge of Flora and the rest of the consultants, use them for your business challenges, and you will have effective and efficient solution. So book us for a call. We are happy and we are here to discuss your business challenges with you. Thank you.
Thank you.